Senator Francis Heyliger, mic, please.
Good afternoon to my colleagues. Good afternoon to the people of the territory. Good afternoon to the testifiers.
Good afternoon.
I hope everyone is well. Earlier in the testimony, it was shared, we were discussing about performance-based budgets. And it was shared that because you guys were focusing on the budget itself, really focusing on attending these performance meetings, you had to set them aside. Is that not somewhat defeating the purpose of getting to a point that we need to get to? How do you intend on fixing that?
Danelle Baptiste, Senior Performance Manager. So we have been meeting with the agencies to work with them as it relates to their current KPIs. But we are embarking on revising those KPIs. As we mentioned, we've been doing audits. We're trying to improve the KPIs that they currently have in time for fiscal year 2022.
Well, as it relates to the audits, how are they scheduled? Do you have a schedule? Are you going to be putting that information out to the public so we could even know what's happening, even us here at the legislature? What's the schedule for that?
So we do have a schedule to perform the audits, and we have begun, as we said, we've completed 21%. All of the agencies know that they will be audited in terms of their measurement practices. And we've been prioritizing which agencies we address first, second, third, etc. There are no plans currently to publish those results, and honestly, once we create new KPIs for FY22, I won't say obsolete, but there'll be a need for us to do it again because the KPIs
Well, if it's not going to be
changing.
published to the public, would it be shared with this institution so we could know what's happening, so we could better make better decisions?
Yeah,
Okay.
we definitely can do that.
Thank you. One of the things I want to touch on quickly, and as a first-time senator, I was very excited to participate in the budget process. And I see there's a little bit of back and forth over this biennial presentation that's being made that is consistently being pushed here, even with the testimony. Everything says 22-23. I got this morning. Everything is 22-23. And as a first-time senator, I wanted to make sure if I had missed something. And I took the time out and I pulled up the VI code, which specifically says, under governor's recommendation, that recommended, it speaks to the plan shall be included of his recommendations, goals, and policies, recommended plans to implement the goals and policies, recommended budget for the succeeding fiscal year. So what I'm trying to understand is this presentation correct or incorrect in how it's being done?
2 minutes.
I don't want to be in a position where things are consistently and other departments are coming in, pushing it in one agenda when the law says something different. So could you explain that to me?
So, Senator, I will say this.
Yes.
The requirement is as stated in the VI code.
Yes.
What is not being stated is that enabling legislation has been submitted to this body to effect.
Okay.
Do you want me to go on, or you want?
No,
to?
I want to ask a question.
Okay, go ahead.
Enabling legislation means that it doesn't exist.
And we are aware of that.
Well, let me say
hence
that.
why we provided enabling legislation.
Okay, so basically, you're telling me as a senator, you're not going to follow the law because you have a different idea of doing something. That's why you submitted enabling legislation. But as of right now, all I'm asking you, ma'am, as of this moment, does the VI code authorize you to submit a biannual budget? Does it authorize you to do that?
As I'm not an attorney.
Okay, so out of the blue, y'all just woke up, and all the time you've been submitting one, and out of the blue you just decided to submit two and tell me you're not a lawyer. Okay, thank you. But I just read the code, and the law doesn't say years, it says singular. So I just wanted to share that. I also wanted to ask another question. I wanted to ask about unclaimed funds. I was looking in the budget. Where exactly is it listed for unclaimed funds in the budget?
There's no such thing as unclaimed funds.
Oh, okay. Well, let me say something.
Time.
Could I just finish my thought quickly?
Yes, you may.
Thank you. I have a piece of legislation coming out that I attempted to change inside the VI code. If individuals have bank accounts that do not have beneficiaries on them, that they could tap into that to assist with paying for funerals. But one of the things that I also learned is that a lot of these things with bank accounts, insurance, all these different things that do not have claimants, they're turned over to banking and insurance because if somebody doesn't claim them. And in my research, it's to the tune of millions of dollars. And when they go to banking and insurance, they're supposed to post these things to the public so people can go look for them. There's a whole slew of things that should be done in the code, but they have not done any reporting for about 15 years. So if these monies after a time period is not accounted for, it gets turned over to the government. So I'm trying to find out where exactly these monies are, and would they be additional funds that we know nothing about that should be accounted for in our budget. But in all my research over the last couple of weeks, nobody can't seem to tell me where these fundings are. So I was looking for it in the budget. So do you have any knowledge of this, or is that something you can find out for me?
I have no knowledge.
Thank you, Senator
you.
Francis Heyliger. What you can do, Senator, is one point of inquiry, Senator Francis Heyliger.
To Director O'Neill, or the assistant, in regards to the audits that have already been completed, have you found in those audits any type of unethical or illegal activities that have been found? And if so, is there procedure in place for mandatory reporting of those to the correct authorities?
Mr. Thomas Kendall.
There are
Oh,
procedures
sorry.
in place. There's
Sorry, Kendall, 1 second. Which audits specifically? 'Cause we're in two different things.
Well, when we're dealing in the audits in regards to the different agencies.
But which performance audits?
Yes.
Okay. Ms. Baptiste.
Danelle Baptiste, Senior Performance Manager. So just to clarify, these are not your traditional audits
Okay.
in terms of how you may be thinking. These are audits on the agency's measurement systems and practices. So when they report their KPI results to us on a monthly basis, we're usually just taking them at face value. So these audits are to actually go in and ensure that they have good measurement practices in place and that the results that they're providing to us are actually accurate and correct. And so what we'll do is, if we find that the way that they might be calculating those results are not accurate, or that the measurement systems that they're using can be improved, we're providing those recommendations to the agencies so they could improve the way that they're measuring their KPIs.
Thank you so much. In reference to the nonprofits for last